This is the Hello, Mr. President segment of the show. All week long, we've asked you to send us concerns you've observed in your communities. You've emailed. Again, if you are experiencing any hardship in your community and you would want policymakers to respond to them, you know what to do. Take out your phone and record an up to 1 minute video or send us a text of exactly what's going on. Email to use is presidenttv@gmail.com. You can also WhatsApp to us at 0550585832. We're going to take a look at our continue the show.
Hello, Mr. President. Kindly post the 2017-2018 Unemployed Allied Health Professionals now. On 31st May 2020, in his latest presidential update on the coronavirus, the president reiterated the need for the government to recruit more health professionals to help strengthen our healthcare system. Dear Nana Addo, why is your government treating us, the 2017 batch of allied health professionals, this badly? Numerous promises, which included the restoration of health trainee allowances, have not materialized. The subsequent promise of prompt employment after the completion of our national service was another deception. Why is your government neglecting the 2017 batch of allied health professionals, disregarding their important role in the public health sector of Ghana's health system? Why did you give clearance to our colleagues, the 2017 batch of nurses who are about 10 times our number, that's 700, and yet leave them at home and leave us behind completely while we all completed school the same year? We agitated when this happened, when we were involved in the contact tracing and were told to relax so that they would work on our clearance. It's been 2 months now and we haven't received any good response from the ministry, even after a series of engagements with our leaders. We have been at home for about 3 years now. Hashtag post 2017-2018 batch of allied health professionals now.
So there you have it. Allied health professionals been home since 2017. You would think we will engage them in a time of a pandemic. They've reached out to the Ministry of Health. They've had no response. So we went to meet with the Deputy Health Minister, Honorable Bernard Okoboy, to hear his response to your concerns. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
I again spoke to the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, and this is what he told me. So, during the lockdown, before the airports were closed, I mean the international airports or our international borders were closed, we realized that some people had entered the country before we closed the airports. And as a country, we decided that we would go back and try and trace those people and test them. And these were in the thousands. I think the figure, conservative estimate, was about 30,000. And so we acknowledged that, especially in Accra and Kumasi, we needed another cadre of staff. It's like a corps, medical corps, outside of volunteers, outside the traditional community nurses and things we had. So we recruited volunteers. Honestly, it's these volunteers that we more or less had an arrangement to pay them about 150 Ghana cedis in the beginning. And the agency that was dealing with them was the Ghana Health Service. Now, their mandate was quite specific, which was to try and help catch these people who are in the thousands. And then after having caught almost all of them, the districts, this was happening in 2 main districts or regions, Kumasi, Greater Kumasi, and Greater Accra. The instruction from the Ghana Health Service was that now that we've dealt with this huge number and we'll now be going after contacts of regular cases within, they should let go of those group of volunteers and then use our staff, that's Ghana Health Service staff, people who are already on government's payroll, who are community nurses, who already are engaged in outreaches like EPR, that's expanded program immunization, who are already on outreach to give education on, let's say, reproductive health and all those, preventive health issues. So that was the instruction that was given to these, especially the municipal assemblies or the municipal health directorates, district health directorates that were engaging or that engaged these people. What came out was that, some of these volunteers, of course, some were not people in permanent employment. So they really wished they had continued with the contact tracing. But, nobody has unlimited funds. And if you have staff that can do the same thing that a volunteer that you pay is doing, you naturally would go for your establishment who are already on salary. And for the established health workers, all we have to do is maybe some lunch and all that, but they are paid monthly by government. The volunteers are not on government payroll. You must pay the amount, multiply by the days, and the directorates were given some amounts. Every region got some disbursements in managing COVID, which was sent to the district. But they could not even sustain the cadre. The cadre was close to 2,000 volunteers. And when you do the multiplication, the assemblies, even the regions could not sustain it. So the instruction was that fall back on your outreach. And as we speak, every district you go, those doing the contact tracing, if anybody says contact tracing has stopped, it is not true. There's contact tracing going on, but GHS staff, Ghana Health Service staff, for that matter, government employees are the ones carrying out the contact tracing. And so that's what the situation is. Districts that continue to engage have been encouraged to maybe consider taking some of them if they have the resources. But especially when the numbers to be dealt with, the contacts to be traced, can be handled by GHS staff, it becomes more or less extraneous to try and go for a volunteer. That is the situation we have.
Some of them have complained that they've not been paid in the past 2 months.
All right.
So that's like starting in April,
Yeah.
necessarily even in March. And they also say, especially in the Ashanti region, some of their colleagues will get paid higher than depending on their location. What's going on?
I think equality is key. A contact tracer.
So that was the Deputy Health Minister, Honorable Bernard Okoboy, addressing the issue of allied health professionals not being employed yet. He says that the government has employed a large majority of you guys, and eventually the rest of you will be employed. Some people also sent us messages about not being paid. We had a message from Adenta and Kumasi, and they're saying that initially they engaged the allied health professionals as volunteers, and they promised the 150 cedis, which you're due to be paid. But now they are engaging the workers of Ghana Health Service to actually do the contact tracing. That's why some of you have not been engaged the way that you were engaged before. Again, if you're experiencing any issues in your community and you want policymakers to answer to it, you know what to do. Just take out your phone and record exactly what's going on and how it's hindering your development, and send it to us at hellomrpresidenttv@gmail.com. You can also send it to us via WhatsApp. The line is 0550585832. We'll take a look at our next message and then continue the conversation.
Good morning. There's so much pollution going on in our communities. Quite critical is the disposal and treatment of fecal-related waste. We at the Biogas Association of Ghana, BAG, are advocating that the government, as a matter of urgency, should abolish the use of septic tanks and replace them with biodigesters. There are enormous benefits to be derived, including making progress towards the achievement of the objectives of the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. The association is calling for a stakeholder engagement forum for a deeper and practical deliberation.
So there you have it. We have Daniel Osei Bonsu, who's the Vice President of the Biogas Association of Ghana, here with us. He's going to help us understand exactly what the problem is. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Explain this issue to us. What exactly is going on?
Thank you for the opportunity. Over the years, the government has actually graduated from what we know as the bad practices of open defecation. And the government has been encouraging people to do, something much more decent. And in the ladder of managing waste, we in Ghana find ourselves in where we do septic tanks. At that time, government had a lot of treatment plants almost everywhere in the country. So therefore, if you did a septic tank, your objective is that it will become full one day, and then the truck, the cesspool emptier, will come and dislodge it and take it to the treatment plant, which is somewhere. So septic tanks are off-site treatment facilities. It means you don't intend to do anything with your waste. It's just a liability at the back of your house, hoping that you spend more money for it to be taken somewhere and you pay for it. Well, Ghanaians are comfortable with that for a while. But as we speak now, it's on record that almost all the treatment facilities across the country are broken down. For a very long time, 20, 30 years ago. And the few that are there are not supporting that system, the off-site treatment system. In Accra, because you have the luxury of the sea, most of the trucks who don't end up at the few treatment plant systems that we have at, let's say, Kolegono, your guess is good as mine. Where do they take it to? So you see the government fighting a very system that it's promoting. So that is the problem. The problem is that in the absence of the treatment systems, where should people dispose of their fecal waste?
So we have someone to answer this question. Director of Sanitation at the Ministry of Sanitation is on the line, Mr. Tony Mensah. Good morning, Mr. Mensah.
Good morning, madam.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you so much for being with us. So we're discussing what we do with our waste once the trucks pick them up from our homes. Can you provide some clarity on that for us?
Thank you very much, and thank you to your cherished listeners. I heard Mr. Osebuntu mention that there are no treatment facilities and that the septic and care operators are depositing their fecal matter directly into the sea. It used to be like that in the past, but as we speak now, the situation has changed. There used to be what we call the lavender hair, somewhere around Kolegono, near close to the sea. That used to be a pump system of fecal flight treatment plants. It became defunct, and as a result, when the vehicles deposited their waste into the pond, it was flowing directly into the sea. At the moment, there has been a replacement of that. There's now a fecal flight treatment plant at the opposite side, next to the prison's training center. So that facility, not prisons, it's a fire service training center. That facility is receiving fecal flight taken out of the tanks across the Accra metropolitan area for treatment. Besides that, there's also the mobile treatment plant, but that is for 2 ways. That is fecal flight coming through pipe, network of pipes from rice toilets. Now, I understand or I agree with him that biogas digester is the way to go. Under the Gamma project, biogas digester has been adopted as a technology for on-site household toilet facilities. And as I speak now, we have built about 28,000 household toilet facilities, all using the biogas technology. But these are micro systems. There are 7 households. They are not for commercial or for large scale. There's a large scale version which is able to engage in that I know of. It's calling for the ban of septic tanks in favor of biogas technology. Of course, septic tanks have served its support over the years, but it has its own limitations.
So at what point will we get to the biogas bit of things to especially now that we need to really ensure that we're doing the right thing as far as our environment is concerned? I said, at what point will we completely be able to get rid of the septic tanks to use the biogas bit?
Biodigesters.
That biodigester.
Well, it's true, because it doesn't have its value addition. The potential to generate energy for household use, which is very true. So it is important that we promote it. And the ministry is leading that process. As I mentioned, biogas technology was adopted for the Gama Sanitation and Water Project. And that project is also going to be repeated in Kumasi very soon. So it's not as if the ministry is ignoring biogas technology, no. But as regards the ban of septic tanks, that will not have to be done by the ministry. We have building regulations.
Okay.
And it involves a lot of institutions.
Okay,
and
thank you.
Ministry now is the Ministry of Work and Housing.
Okay, thank you very much.
What I will say is that it has to be looked into and it should be carefully crafted. We cannot do it overnight. It has to take some time.
Okay.
But it's also important that
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony Mensah, for the sake of time.
Enlightenment, and then it will then be holistically looked at, and we pursue that direction.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tony Mensah, for your time. He's a Director of Sanitation at the Ministry of Sanitation. Any last words for us? I mean, we've heard from him. He says the government is going to do what it can to solve this problem.
Yeah, so the director is on the right track.
Okay.
We are not talking about Accra. We are talking a nationwide issue. If someone pollutes upstream,
It will end up
here. So let's leave Accra. Just look at the inland. They don't have the sea. They don't have what we have in Accra.
Yeah.
Even in Accra, it's not, the treatment facilities are not enough. And he's right. We are saying for the first time in Ghana, an association has popped up its head to support the ministry, the sector ministries, to take this bull by the horn. And it's not the sanitation ministry that will have to see to the rollover. I think it could be the Ministry of Works and Housing,
yes, they mentioned
or
that.
the local government ministry.
Okay.
In fact, it's multi-sectorial.
So
we
we will
want to take this
revisit
discussion
a step
much
further. Okay.
deeper for you to understand the impacts we are talking about. We can't wait.
Thank you very
can't
much
wait.
for being with us, Daniel Osei-Bonsu,
Thank
the
you.
Vice President of Biogas Association of Ghana. Thank you for staying for this segment of Hello, Mr. President and Breakfast Daily. Again, if you're observing any problems in your community and you want policymakers to answer to it, take out your phone, record a video, or send us a message at helloMrPresidentTV@gmail.com. You can also reach us on WhatsApp at 0550585832.